Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of our craft along. I am feeling a little bit better today, hence I have a few curls in my hair today, but that's about it. Still congested, of course, but things are picking up. I think my antibiotic is kicking in. So, with that being said, I have a fun technique. Erica Serwin created this card and this box, and the technique is a whitewash technique, and it is absolutely to die for. I love it, love it, love it. And I was just thinking today, gosh, this would be beautiful on some of the new stamps that we're getting. You know, there's a new sailboat stamp set coming out where this technique would be gorgeous. And then another one of my my friends, Rhonda, said, oh, wouldn't it be beautiful on butterflies? And then I'm like, ooh. And then my friend Judy said, how about flowers? And I really think that you could take this to the next level. So with our craft along, if you're not familiar with how this works, you could buy a kit that would get sent to you that would include your paper supplies, your PDF tutorial, the embellishment that you would need. No stamp sets are included at all. And from that, you will actually cut your paper, your designer paper, and your cardstock right along with us. Now, many of your little cutouts, like the arches that we're using in the countryside corners that we used yesterday, those are already cut for you. But there is some cutting involved. But the nice thing about it is we're crafting with friends, and you might learn a different technique or trick along the way. Now, if you didn't get that kit, you can still get the kit. I have a few of those left, and there's a link in Constant Contact that's in the Facebook group here, as well as I'll post it on the YouTube channel too. Or you can get the PDF tutorial. You can purchase it for $25, or better yet, why not get it free? You can purchase $50 out of the catalog or online exclusives, and I will give you the PDF tutorial absolutely free. And let me tell you, this tutorial is a huge tutorial. I think there's like 40-some pages of it if you don't do double sides. And there's so many different things there. Plus, you get the technique cards that you can put in a Memories and More binder book using the Memory More protectors, and save it and use some of these techniques on your upcoming projects. So with that being said, who's ready to get started? First of all, let me know if you are here. I would love to be able to chat with you along the way. I'm going to see if I can get my comments working. Hi, Cheryl Spitzley. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Cheryl was one of my roommates at Onstage. We had a blast. She found this amazing Airbnb for us. We really did have a great time. So that's something you don't want to miss out on, especially if you like to stamp and like to learn about what's coming up. Okay, let me just pull up. I want to make sure if anybody on YouTube has any concerns that I'm able to answer them too. Let me just get this on my phone here, and then I'm going to point you down, and I'm going to show you this fabulous technique. Okay. Go here, view my channel, and go to live. And here we are. Hopefully it's still working. Hopefully we're still recording. Hi, Nancy Jones. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. All right, so tonight we are going to make a card. I'm going to pull out my instructions because, of course, I want to make this right along with you. So here's my instructions. And the first thing I want to do is I want to pull out my Misty Moonlight cardstock that came in my kit. I'm going to pull these out and set them aside here. I'm going to pull out my Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to go ahead and turn you down so you can see this project. Now, yesterday's projects I made ahead of time. Today's projects I didn't make ahead of time. I was working and just didn't have a chance, but I played around with the technique a little bit beforehand, so you're in good hands here. All right, so let me zoom this out just a tad bit because we don't need all of that, right? Let's see. See if this works. That's a little better, right? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our paper. And I'm one of those people who don't have my flip out ledge here at the bottom. I have to have it at the top. I know it's crazy, but I'm gonna cut this at 5.5 by 8.5. So grab your paper and do the same. And then we're gonna score it at 4.25. And make sure you're using the scoring blade. You all were waiting for me to cut into that, weren't you? If you're watching me on Facebook, make sure you also subscribe to my YouTube channel because you all know that with Facebook Lives, they only retain them now for 30 days and then they're gone for good. So if you need to reference this later on, or if I give you something special over there on YouTube, you know, it will not transcribe back and forth. So make sure you do that. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to cut a piece of basic white, and this piece is going to be, let's see here, 5 by 3 3/4. So we're going to go 5 inches by 3 3/4. We're going to set that aside for just a minute. And then we need another piece of white for the inside, which is 5.25 by 4. So let me do 5.25. And then by 4. And that's our inside piece. And then we have a little banner, which would come in your prepackaged items. It's one of the die cuts. And this is from the Hearts and Hugs set. And you know, and I forget about this one because this banner size is like the perfect banner. It's not stitched or anything like your Stylish Shapes one. It's just a long banner. So that's a good one. And then we're going to need some crumb cake. And we're also going to need a 1/4 sheet of crumb cake. Whoa, what do I got going? Get off of there. Bumped my phone and it started playing. We need to take a piece, and in this one, let's see. We could use this one. I mean, you don't always have to use the same that the card is on. She used a smaller check when she created this. I'm just looking for it in here. Hopefully I didn't use there. Nope, that's not it. There it is. That's the smaller check she used, which is more Misty Moonlight, so I'm going to stick with that. And for that piece, and this is our Forever Plaid Designer Series paper, for that piece, we need it to be 5.5 by 4.25. So we'll do 5.5. And then 4.25. So this is going to cover up our whole card front. Okay. And then we also need a piece that is 1 by 5.5. And let's see, I'm pretty sure this is going to be our 5.5, which it is. So we need to cut this piece down to 1 inch. There we go. And we set that aside. Now our small piece of basic white, we're going to bring back in, and we're going to score horizontal lines across. So you're going to want to have it on the small side at every 1/2 inch. And what this does is it creates almost like a piece of wood planking, which I think is really cool. Kind of like what you'd see at a beach-themed place. So we're just scoring it every 1/2 inch. this across the whole thing. Okay, so we have our planking, and I don't know if you can see that or not. My one light's a little bright. Now you can see it a little better. See the planking? All right, now that we have that done, the next instructions say to flick crumb cake, stamp, and blend to add some splatter to this. So I'm gonna grab my crumb cake blend. And I will be the first to admit, I'm not the best at doing this. So I'm going to take my brush end. Let's see how I do. Keep your fingers crossed. Ooh, it's actually working good tonight. You guys brought me good luck. And you can do as much as little as you want. You know, that's the first time I think I've ever had that work. I must have my power gripped hand tonight on my bone folder. All right, so we're gonna set that aside and let that dry. Next, we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing. So for that, you are going to need 1/4 of a sheet of your crumb cake. And because I made extras of these doing samples and stuff, I'm just gonna cut one. So you're gonna do 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and we're gonna take this piece and we are going to use our Versamark. And for this one, we're going to use the lobster from the Ocean Friends. And I just put the Versamark on. The other thing I want to do before I do that is with your embossing kit, if you don't have the Stampin' Up! Embossing kit, you're going to want this because it comes with everything that you need. I'm just going to run this rosin bag across my paper here to get rid of any particles. Then I'm going to ink up the stamp with Versamark. And there he is. And I need another one. I need to have 2. And you're going to re-ink between stamping. Sorry to wiggle my table so much. Okay. Now, put the lid back on that, and I'm going to clean this real quick because I don't want that to dry in the stamp. Squeaky clean. All right, next we're going to emboss. And I have my embossing powder right here. I'm going to take these images. Hopefully I have enough that I haven't used where I got to dump it out again. And I'm just using white embossing powder. We're sprinkling it across. Make sure we get it all good. Then I'm just going to tip it. And of course I barely got any back in the container. All right, and I got a pretty good image there. Now I'm going to get my heat gun. Let me grab it. I got it over in the corner here. Okay, now when you heat emboss, you could do it a couple different ways. You can, and let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see this better. You can heat from the back side. There we go. You can heat from the back side or you can heat from the front. Now, you stand a lesser risk, I would say, of bumping your embossing powder on your image if you come from the back side. If you come from the front side, and excuse it being in the camera here, you're going to want to keep it a distance because you can burn embossing powder. So I just move it back and forth and you'll begin to see it change. I'll do one both ways so you can see the other way too. This set does come with tweezers too, but I didn't grab them out, so. There you can see the head is starting to change. Move this around so you can see it a little better. And you can tell it's done because it really puffs up and gets shiny. Okay, so I have that one. Now I'm going to show you the back side technique. With the back, you just hold it underneath. I don't know if you can see that or not. You just hold it underneath and move it back and forth. And you'll start to see it changing. Well, you really don't stand a risk of burning your, I think I got him. Yep. You don't stand a chance, maybe down here just a little bit. There it goes. Of burning your embossing powder or knocking it off when you don't want it. All right. So you can turn off your little tool and set it aside. We're going to need that in just a minute again. Now you're going to grab out your white craft ink. Now, I have a new craft ink pad and I have an old one. I'm using the old one because I typically use the old one if I want to mess with like blender pens and stuff in it. We're going to use a watercolor pen. And I'm using my old pad, which you can tell. You can see the color smudges on there. But what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of water and we're going to come into this pad. Now, if you're using a new pad, do not do this to your ink pad. Instead, squeeze re-inker into the tray or squish the pad against the top and pull in the ink. Okay? I'm only doing this because it's an old pad. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to apply this to my, pick up a little bit more ink, to my lobster here. And you can see it's getting to be a lighter color. I'm just bringing in that white. Let me push it around a little bit in my cap. And when I said squeeze it, this is what you do. You put it together and you just squeeze it and it puts ink into your pad. Now this one is a really old pad and I'm probably not going to pick up a lot of ink from it. I did a little bit here. But you don't need a lot because you're just trying to change that color just a little bit from crumb cake to a light white wash. And that's what this technique is called, whitewash. I'll grab a little bit from up here. Re-inker works very well. It's a little bit more concentrated. And I'm just coming into these areas and just putting the white ink in between my embossed area. Now this is going to take a few minutes to dry, okay? So while this is drying, we will assemble some of the rest of our card, and we're going to come back and we're going to add even more color to this. Now when you're adding color, you can use a couple different tools. I know Erica recommended using your Stampin' Write marker, and we'd want to use Misty Moonlight in this case. Of course, I didn't have that particular marker. I had Blueberry Bushel and I had Night of Navy, in which when I tried them, I didn't care for that. So I said, well, what else do I have? So I pulled out my blenders. Now typically, you do not mix blenders with water. But this is all going to be dry when I go to put the ink on, so it doesn't really matter. And when I want to lighten the ink, the blends are already going to be dry. So we're just filling this all in. Hopefully you can see it here on my messy desk. Let me move that out of the way. And these are our pieces. Move it more centered for you so you can see it a little better. Pick up a little more ink. Now, like I said, we were talking, I think this would be beautiful with a new sailboat set that's coming out in the new annual catalog. So if you do not have one of those, make sure you let me know so I can get you one. We want to make sure you have a new catalog. And there's new online exclusives. Actually, I think the sailboat one's an online exclusive. We're almost done with this. A few areas here I missed. And then we're going to let it dry. And you don't want to use a lot of water, just enough to keep your ink flowing, because then it won't take as long to dry, okay? All right, and he looks pretty good. We're going to set this aside for just a moment to dry. I'm going to shut this ink pad up so I don't get anything else in it. Then we're going to come back to our card base, and we're going to glue down our base piece here, okay? And that covers the full size of your card. So let me go ahead and put that down. My glue came out pretty heavy there. You don't need that much glue. And this, again, it covers your whole card. So you want to make sure you have it on good. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to take our little spritz piece here, and we're going to put this down. Now, you can either pop this up on dimensionals, or you can glue it down flat. Let's see here. And she says to adhere it with dimensionals. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the instructions to a T. And sorry if I have to keep referencing them. Let me get my white dimensionals here, my big ones. I swear, I can get out a new package of these and they just disappear off my desk. I don't know if you guys have that problem or not. Dimensionals are one of my most favorite things. I love when things have a 3D look. Okay, there we go. Hi, Cynthia, welcome. Sorry, I just looked up. And saw your comment there. If I miss your comment, it's not because I don't love you all. Sometimes my screen doesn't give them to me, so oops. And I want to put this on so it's even. I'm going to try to do that without sticking my head in here too far. I hope that's pretty good. Okay. Now the other thing we can do while we're waiting for that to dry, and it should be pretty well dry, we can stamp Hello Friends on this, or Hello Friend. And with this, we're going to use the Misty Moonlight ink. And the Hello Friend is from the Ocean Friends, so let me get that out. Okay, let's see if I can do this first time. I actually cut a few extras because I was worried about not getting it right. And I should have my stamping pad. Where did I put that? Let's see. Probably buried on my desk somewhere. Well, I guess we'll worry about that at a different time. And we're going to do hello friend. Just like that. Ooh, not bad. Bonus points for me. And I'm going to clean that with my Stampin' Chamois so I don't get ink on anything else. Funny story. So I borrowed this stamp from a friend because when I went to order it, I ordered the French version. Have you ever done that? I was so bummed. I'm like, how could I have done that? That's crazy. All right. So now we have that done. And we're going to put that about right there when we get our little crabs die cut here. Now, just to show you what this looks like, I did do a pre-sample. Let me find what I did with those. There they are. So here's an example of one of the crabs done. Isn't that like spectacular or what? When I first did the sample here, I sent a message off to Eric and I go, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Because I like this beach look, you know? So I'm going to leave this one as is, but I'm going to show you how to do that on this one. And then I'll save these for another project that I'm doing. So you're going to get out either your Stampin' Write marker or your blends, whichever you prefer. If you use blends, you do have to let it dry a little bit. I'm using the light Misty Moonlight. And I think I'm going to use the brush end. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to go around this whole part there. And then around this part here. This is so easy. It is absolutely unreal. And don't worry if you get on the emboss part, it'll come off when we're all dry. I'm just going around each one of these little crevices here, I guess you'd call them. You're basically just outlining it. Now there I got a little too much. There we go. Well, maybe I should have used the other end because I'm a little messy with the brush end. That's all right though, we can get that off. Let me grab this really quick. There we go. A little bit right there too. And there. And it does come off really good on the embossing. So, little tip if you use the blend. And I'm going to get the fine tip back out because I'm a little better with that. A little more control for me. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the dark Misty Moonlight fine point, and I'm going to go as close to the edge here as I can get. And it's okay, like I showed you, if you get a little bit on the white, we can get it off. And I like this because it kind of bleeds just a little bit. Now up here, I want to maybe come in with just a little bit more ink right through here and right through here. And we might want just a little bit more, and I'm going to get the light out for this. Just a little bit more in here now. Okay, now I'm going to wave this to let it dry. Hopefully it dries pretty quick. And I'm going to open my white back up again. I'm not going to squeeze a lot of water because I'm not looking for water. I'm looking for pretty much the straight ink here. Again, don't do this if you have a new pad. I'm only doing it because I have an old one here. And see how you can kind of like just wash this line here and make it kind of look really beachy. Just by going over that. Just a wee bit. I had so much fun. Make sure if you use this technique or if you're making these projects with us that you share them, okay? Excuse me. You guys liking this so far? Excuse me. Hi, Mary Jean. Oh, knee in motion machine. Mary Jean just had knee surgery. She's getting caught up on her crafting channel, right? There we go. All right, and that looks pretty good to me. You guys see the finished result there. Now we're gonna die cut them. If I can quit choking here, let me grab a drink. Oh, gravy. Then when you start choking, then your eyes start watering. Oh, man. Let me close this ink here before I get something on me. I'm going to grab the cut and emboss machine. And we're going to die cut these out. Lobster. And I like to use Post-it note tape to hold these in place once I get them all lined up good. I'll grab a piece of that. Sure I'm where I need to be. All right, that looks good. That looks good. I think I'm there. Put a piece here. Put a piece up here. And then we're going to roll it in place. We got one of our little lobsters cut out. Look at how cool that looks. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're going to do our other one. Make sure I get this lined up right. I think that's pretty good. I hope. There's a lot of work that goes into this. You may even want to cut them out before, like right after you emboss, cut them out before you start coloring them. Because then if you accidentally cut one the wrong way going through the cut and emboss machine, you don't have all that work lost of the coloring. So let's hope these turn out all right. Oh yeah, looks good. Looks good. Okay, so we got our two. Let me juggling things around a little bit. And I'm going to take just a minute because I know if I don't, I'm going to spill this. And I definitely do not want to do that. I'm going to put my embossing powder back in its little container. It'll only take me a hot second here. These are really nice. There's a little end unscrews, and then you just dump it back in. Voila. And that's a lot better than what it was. And then I will not spill that, which will be a blessing. Of course, I don't know where I put the lid now. There it is. All right, now we're good. Now I have to assemble this little bugger. I don't know why, but I can never find enough room on my desk. I don't know if you guys have that issue or not. It's like no matter how big my table, I can't get enough room. All right, so these two kind of go off here to the side like this and like this. And then your Hello Friends goes on the bottom like that. Okay. And I'm going to pop them up because I like things, like I said before, that are 3D. You can choose what you'd like to do. The rest of the projects we have for you too are absolutely stunning. We have Ange McKay's stuff coming up. I think she's tomorrow. And then Judy Tuttle is the next day. And then we do mine the final day. And mine we're making a little mini book, which is pretty cool, and this pop-out card. There we go. You have a pile of backings for dimensionals. Nope. There we go. I'm going to put him kind of just like that over top. And then this little guy comes in. I'm going to put this over top. So I'm just going to put a dimensional on the one end. And I think there's a little bowl. Let me look. Yep, and then there's like a little bow of ribbon that we need to put on here. And where did I put that? Here it is. And we're using this white ribbon, and it's brand new and the online exclusive. And it looks like she tied a bow with this, but maybe she frayed it afterwards. Let's see. let's see what we can do with it. Because a bow, to me, is a little... Yeah, we're going to fray it and we're going to pull it apart. We're not going to do a bow. Let me just pull this apart. You guys ever fray your ribbon? I love this look. You just get in there and you start pulling out a few strands, and then usually it'll start pulling apart. Come on. Let me cut a piece off of here. I like this ruche look it gives too when you start pulling the strands. So I want it to look kind of boho chic look. Kind of that beachy boho. Not doing very good about pulling them. I just can't get a grip on them. There we go. I got a few. I'm just basically dismembering this. And I'm going to put this on kind of like this behind my tag because I want this thin frayed look. There we go. I'm going to put it on with a glue dot. Put it right on the back of my little label here. Just kind of have it. See that fray? I love that. Absolutely love that look. There. And maybe I'll run a little bit of adhesive on the back of that. Just to hold that down. And then we got this end with the dimensional. And we're just going to peel it off and put it over here. Like that. And then you can kind of play with this a little bit. I see a couple of strands that I got that are kind of kitty-wampus, so I'm just going to clip them. But I really like this look of the strands of ribbon versus the whole ribbon. I don't know if you guys can see it real good, but that's what it looks like. Okay. All right, and then in the inside, we want to put our card piece here. Now, I think we need to do something in the inside. So let me grab my stamp set again. And let's see. Excuse me. We're going to get our lobster here. And I'm just going to stamp him. I think I'm just going to stamp him in Misty Moonlight. I'm going to figure out where I put the ink. It's probably sitting right in front of my face. There's that ink. There it is. Right where it's supposed to be. Now we also have this strip of paper, and you can either put this on the top or on the bottom, whichever you prefer. let's see. I want enough room. I'm just going to put him because I want him to look. And I should be using my foam mat. Ooh, I like him. He looks kind of washed, which is good. And I'm going to put this piece along the top up here. Now you could put this on the bottom too. And I think I'm going to cut it down a little bit too, so it just goes just across the top of this. Like that. There we go. Snip this. Hey, Arlena Craven. Welcome, welcome. And then we're going to put this right in the inside like this. And then this card is done, but you don't want to go away yet because I'm going to show you how to make a really cute box to match this. So you will have a gift set if you want to give it to somebody. And there's that. And also we need to put on our gems. Here we go. And let's see, I think I'm going to use the white, I think. Put one here, and put a smaller one right here, and then we'll put a medium-sized one right over there. And this, friends, is our first project. I hope you love it. Let me just turn down the brightness on here just a tad bit. That's better right there. Okay, so project number 2. So that's our first project. Project number 2, let me show you on the instructions what we're making. We are making this cute box right here. So for this, we're going to need quite a few different pieces. Let me grab my cutter again. So grab your cutter too if you want to follow along. And we're going to need a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock that is 8.5 by 9.25. So let me grab a piece of Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight. I thought I brought out more of you. There you are. No, you're not. There you are. All right. Here's my Misty Moonlight. And again, it is 8.5 by 9.25. So we're going to open up our trimmer. And we're going to cut this at 9.25. Okay. So there's our piece. And we are going to score it on the short side, so on the 8.5 side. We're going to score it at 1.25 first, so 1.25. And make sure you have your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. So 1.25 and 4. And 5.25. And the last one is 8. So I know, let's see, open this up and go to 8, which should have been a 1/2 inch, because that's 8.5 wide. And then we're going to turn it on the long side. And you're going to score at 1.25. and 8. Okay. And then we need to make some cuts. First, though, we need to burnish this piece. So let me grab my bone folder. Sorry, I was getting away in my own junk here. So I was telling the story, Arlena, last night, how when you were here, we found a dimensional backing on my eyelid. And that is no joke. Weirdest place to find a dimensional backing, but that's where it was. All right, now we have all of those burnished. Now what we're going to do is take your snips and we're gonna cut just up to this score line here. And we're gonna kind of angle these a little bit. A little miter job on them. There we go. And then we're gonna we're gonna cut this corner out completely. There we go. And this corner, we're gonna miter it too. There we go. Oops, and I got a little piece on here. I don't know how I did that. We'll get rid of that. There. Now you're going to turn this side, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this little corner off. And then you're going to cut up here to this score line here. I can tell my scissors have glue on them. And we're just going to miter that again on both sides. There. And then on the end here. And then we're going to miter this like that. Well, that was about a crooked miter. We'll do it again. There. Okay. Now on this piece over here, we're going to angle cut. This is the thin 1/2 inch side. I got my fingers stuck in my scissors. Lots of entertainment with me tonight, ladies. And if there's any gentlemen watching, gentlemen. All right, and then we're going to put tear tape along this edge here. Let me grab mine. Well, that wasn't very good. There we go. And then this piece is going to come over. Hopefully I did this right. Connect. Well, we're looking good, ladies, looking good. And then we have our top and our bottom of our box. So that piece is all intact. This piece we can fold in and glue it down. Where did I put my glue? Here it is. Just like that. And we have our box. But I shouldn't have done that because I was supposed to stamp on it first. All right, well, we can do this, right, guys? We got this. Let me get my little crab stamp. Oh, boy. Ay, ay, ay. Dios mío. my crab. I lost my crabs. Like I said, I got a hot mess going on here at my desk. For some reason, now I can't find my crab. I'm crabless. All right, you guys, welcome to my world. This is what things are like all the time. Let's first mark. It's not on the bottom of that. Extra block, that's the die. You can put that back. That's the lobster. And here's the crab. So we were supposed to stamp this cute little crab on the box before I glued it all together. So hopefully you're not following too close along with me. I can be dangerous at times, you know, folks. So I'm going to try very carefully. Wonder if this will give me some leverage. Nope. We're just going to wing it. It'll have to be what it is, right? Or we'll have to cut another one. You only need to get a couple crabs on there. And I don't think I can get... No, I can't pull that tear tape off. So... helps if you follow directions. Yep, Arlena, you're right. It happens to the best of us. So we're just going to hope that I get just enough on here to get this beachy look. Well, isn't this just beachy? Hi, Nikki Pillsbury. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, that's not working. All right, I got this. Hold on. We're going to fix our mistake. Because if you followed me, you're going to need to do the same thing. So this is 2 3/4 by... Seven and 3/4. And this, my friends, is how you fix a mistake. Well, maybe. I gotta cut a little bit more off. I measured the whole box. Let me cut an inch off of here. Oh, look at that. Just like downtown. All right, now we're gonna stamp in Misty Moonlight our little crabs on here, like I was supposed to do before. Oh, so much better. Gotta love it, right? And another one down here. Okay. That looks marvelous. And then we're going to glue that on. But before I do that, we are going to take our 5th smallest arch that we have right here. And we need to use the Thanks So Much from this set. And that's going to be in Misty Moonlight. And grab Thanks So Much. And for this portion of the tag, we actually want this kind of up in this corner, the upper right corner. Like this. Okay, that looks good. All right, back to our box. Then we're gonna need to make 2 crabs, just like we did before. Now, I went ahead and did those. I'm gonna show you how to emboss one more time, and then I'll show you how to color one of these real quick. And then we have that portion done. So let me grab just a little piece here. And we are going to take the crab, and let me clean the crab first. There we go. And we're going to use our Versamark again. Going to dip this in our Versamark real good. And then we're going to put it on our piece of crumb cake. Like so, and you're going to need 2 of these. And then we're going to take, and I should have run my embossing buddy over that first, which I didn't do on this one. We're going to dump our embossing powder on it and pray for the best. Ooh, not bad, not bad. Actually looks pretty good. I missed a little bit of his leg here. Awesome. And let me just dump this back in here before I make a hot mess. Smart move, Nancy. Watch first and then put yours together. You know what, though? We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. And one thing I love about paper is there's always a way to fix it. You know, it's not like if you're doing a canvas painting and you have to paint all over again, you know. We have the tools, fortunately, that we can do this very easily. I just had to cut another piece of paper to go over the top. Okay, it might get a little loud. Yeah, don't put your box together before you stamp. You know, but we're so used to doing things too. Like if you make a lot of boxes for different events, you're so used to, you cut it, you get it right, and then you put it together. And then you add on the other trim. Now I could have left these little crabs off, but I really like the way it looks. So nobody will be any the wiser. Okay, so there's our little crab. Now to color him again, I'm going to color another one just so you can see how this one's done. I have my white old pad. If you don't have a white old pad that you use for nothing more than dipping your blender or your watercolor marker in, use re-inker. And I'm just picking up some white. You could also, if you had a new pad, you could just squeeze it in to the to your ink pad cover, to your ink pad. I'm just coloring this in. It almost looks like chalk, and I will tell you guys, we are getting a new chalkboard looking set that's pretty amazing in the new catalog, and this would be a great technique to use on that chalkboard because it kind of looks to me like, you know, like you erase the chalkboard and it's a dirty board. And there we go. Da, 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 da. Okay. And then we're going to let this dry a minute. And then I use the blends. I know Erica used the regular Stampin' Right marker, but I didn't have Misty Moonlight, so I had to improvise just a tad bit. Yeah, Mary Jean, that's what I thought too. Put something on the inside, but I didn't have anything quite big enough. Not thinking probably my Stampin' Block would have been a perfect fit, like to put 2 of them in there. But that's all right. We just use another piece of paper. All right, and on this one, you're just going to go around just like I did on the other one. And I'm using the light Misty Moonlight right now. I don't know why, but whenever I see the stamp set, I always think of SpongeBob SquarePants. My daughter loves that show. And see right there, I got a little bit on. I'm just going to take my little eraser blend here and get rid of that. There we go. There. And in here, we want to make this just a little bit thicker. Try to look at my sample here that I did earlier. And I just kind of tilt it on its side to get those thicker parts in. Okay. And then we're going to bring in the dark Misty Moonlight, and I want this to be like a really fine line just around the edge. Here and right here. We're going to let that dry for just a hot second. And then I like to come back in and add just a little bit more white to it. And where I really want to get it is like right here. I want to kind of blend these colors out just a wee bit. Bring in a little bit more of that white. Just where the white is going to meet this blue here. It's really weird how it looks too. That crumb cake paper makes all the difference, in my opinion. And that is our crab. Now you could add more blue. On these, I added a little bit more blue. And you didn't just play around with them. Like that one I really like. This one I didn't like as much. but I put a wider range of blue on him down here. But you can choose how you want to do it. Now all you have to do is die cut them out, and I'm going to die cut the dry ones here. Let me grab my cut and emboss machine again. Oh. And I have my little pieces of sticky note stuff here. And let me figure out where I stuck my dies. Because it would make too much sense to have an organized desk. That's pretty good. Put that one down on there. And we'll roll him through. So when you guys are crafting, is your desk like spotless, or do you have stuff all over the place and you got to rifle through it? There's our one little crab. We'll do the other one here. All right. What do I got wrong here? There we go. It helps if you're not trying to look at it sideways, right? This tape on. I have him in place. Sorry for the jiggling. I saved this tape because you can usually get a few rounds with it. Okay, and then we also need to cut out a few pieces of the grass that comes in the same set with the dies using the plaid designer paper. So let me grab my plaid paper again. And we want to pick one out that looks green, which... let's see which one I want to use here. I think I'll use that one. I'm just going to put these on like that. Should be all we need the cut and emboss machine for tonight. Okay. Now, looking at my instructions so I don't mess this up again, I have my piece here, and these pieces, this is going to go on here kind of off to the side. And then it does look like they use 3 pieces of this, which I only cut 2. But I might be able to use a half of one. Let me see. That one like that. And then 2 small ones. I'm going to have to cut another one. Give me 1 second. Just when we thought we were all done with that cut and emboss machine, we're not. Put that big one away. Let me grab this out one more time, folks. I'm getting my arm workout tonight. Oh, excuse me again, folks. Sorry about that. You'll have half of my lung before we leave tonight. All right. Okay, so this goes like this, and this, and that. So I'm going to glue those down. Okay, and then we're going to take our two crabs. I'll put one like right here, and one maybe right there. Okay, let me get my dimensionals. Oh, where's my minis? I have a couple minis here. I lost my crab. Those dimensional backings. That, and then this gets glued down, and this would normally be your box, so this is going to get glued down in the center like that. So let me go ahead and put some glue in the center. You don't want it around the edges because it's going to hang off the box. It's going to go like this. And then because I mucked up my box, we're going to put this on the front like this. And nobody's going to be any the wiser that I made a mistake. I've never been one of those people to follow directions to a T, unfortunately. I always think I know what I'm doing. I'm the person that puts something together, like a treadmill, for instance, and I end up with 5 extra bolts. And my husband wonders why he has 5 extra bolts for his treadmill. Let me tell you, dear, because I didn't read the instructions. And then this piece of ribbon gets wrapped around. Hopefully I have enough. Excuse me. To hold this top in place. You're going to tie a really cute bow. All right, somebody put your finger right there for me, will ya? Like this. And then we do need to add a few of our little doodabbers here. And on this one, oh, what do I want? I think I'm going to add, nope, don't like that. Put that back. Let's do the white again. And there you go. There is your box. We made it, folks. We made it. So tonight, we made these 2 cute projects that were created by Erica Serwin. And I hope you enjoy them. And I hope you join me tomorrow night for some more cute projects. And make sure you go out and you follow me on my YouTube channel. Subscribe so you get notifications of this, okay, folks? I don't want you to miss out on these videos. It's a shame they're going away. The lives go away after 30 days. And you may want to make this 29 days from now and start it and not be able to finish it. So, all right. Well, that's all I have for you this evening. I will see you tomorrow night. Everybody take care.